Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, my beautiful people. Today I'm going to be making meatloaf when I decided to go ahead and film it pretty much. So I'm going to need the green, orange, red, yellow, and a jalapeno. That's optional. Onions. So let's first cut this up. Now what I do is I cut up half of each thing you see here. Like I cut up half this red, put it in a bowl, leave the other half in the plate. And the what I put on the bowl, I saute up to put on my raw meat, and then I leave raw vegetables to put on my raw meat too before I put it in the oven. So let me go from there. All right, I do use a lot of vegetables. I do. This right here is going to go for sauteing. I'm going to saute it first, and then I'm going to put on my meat. And this is going to go in raw. And I don't think I have any more whole garlic, but if I do, I usually take about 3 whole garlics, chop them up, and then stuff them random places in my meatloaf. Once I form it, we'll see if I have some. Anyway, let's move on. So I do have some whole garlic left. So let's start building our meatloaf. Okay, this is 5 pounds of ground hamburger meat. So of course, if you got less, you have to figure out how to alternate. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out your measurements of your vegetables. But since I have 5 pounds, that's how much vegetables I'm gonna put in there. Go to I'm recording. And what I do is get 4 slices of bread, any kind of bread that I happen to have at the time. This is wheat bread from Winco. That's what I have at the time. I do it different every time because I always buy different bread. And just pretty much the first 2 of the end breads, the last 2 and the first 2, that's what I do. And I take some milk, whatever milk I have at the time, and I just soak it in there. So I'm just going to soak my my bread into my milk. And I'm making a mess here. I didn't have any milk, so I had to borrow some milk. So usually I put my bread in and then pour my milk on top, but I did it vice versa this time. So I have a lot of milk, so I'm just leaving it in there and let it soak it all up while I prepare and get the meatloaf ready. So I'm going to season it up first. And I'll use a lot of seasonings, but a little bit of each seasoning. To make your life easier, if you're a person like me that want to create and make your own seasonings, get you an empty. Okay, where was that? To make your life easier, take an empty, or we could buy you a seasoning bottle or take an empty seasoning bottle and mix your seasonings up so you can just have it all in one bottle. So you can just a regular sprinkle on top, because it seems like I'm putting so much seasoning on my stuff because I put a little bit of everything on there. And usually I just mix it all together. I'm out, so we got to do it the hard way. So don't think I'm putting a lot of seasoning in. And the seasoning is optional. This recipe that I'm showing you is optional. If you don't want that seasoning in there, you don't want that much salt, sodium, whatever, don't put it in there. So let's keep going. Okay. So the first seasoning I'm going to use is some Slap Your Mama. Just a little bit. I'm going to use this. I never used this before actually, but it's called Hot Shot Extra Bold Pepper Blend. Just a little bit of that. A little bit of cayenne pepper. Yes, Golden, I'm recording. Alright, so I put a little bit of garlic salt. Put a little bit of steak seasoning. A little bit of Lori seasoning salt. A little bit of, well, not quite a little bit, but parsley flake. My camera not focusing. Oh, my camera's not focusing. So I put some onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of taco seasoning. Yes, taco seasoning, y'all. And I'm going to mix it up and I'll show you when I'm done. And I'm going to add some seasoned breadcrumbs and 2 eggs to this mixture. Okay, so I added the breadcrumbs. I'm going to break 2 eggs in it and kind of mix it up a little bit, and then I'm going to stir in my vegetables. Alright, I put my 2 eggs in there. You probably can't see. They didn't kind of got swallowed up in there. Now I'm going to put my vegetables in there. Green, red, orange, yellow, bell peppers, a half a jalapeno, and a small onion. Alright, I have everything in there, so let's mix it. This is what it's looking like so far. So I'm going to put my soaked bread in. Just kind of break it up some. Alright, now we're going to mix that up. Alright, so I'm going to put a little butter and olive oil in my pan, heat it up so I can saute my vegetables. Alright, here's my mixed vegetables, and I'm going to take some minced garlic and put it in there with it. And I'm also going to take a little bit of minced garlic and put it in my raw meat. Alright. So I'm going to take some minced garlic and put it in my meatloaf. And don't forget, I'm also going to put in fresh garlic in the meatloaf once I form it. Alrighty, people. Now, while my rest of my vegetables are sauteing, I'm going to put some flavored stuffing mix. It's the Great Value kind. I done put the breadcrumbs in here before, the already pre-breadcrumbs for stuffing. I couldn't find them, because I usually put that and this in here, which is, I really put stovetop in, but you know, the way my bank account's set up, we're going to use this, we're going to try it, let's go, let's do it. This stuff is smelling real good, y'all. I feel like this is not enough for this 5-pound worth of meat, because usually I put one of those in and some breadcrumbs in there. But, you know, we're going to work with what we got. Let me mix it, and I'll show you when I'm done. Even though I put a whole cup of milk in there, it still seems, it needs to be a little runnier than this. So I added 1 egg. I don't know if I already told you. I'm going to put a little bit of mustard in that. Some soy sauce. Some Worcestershire sauce. This is 5 pounds, y'all, so this is why I gotta put a little bit more than usual. And a little bit of A1 sauce. I also put a little bit of A1 sauce on my sauce I'm gonna make to put on top. So, hope I know. Alright, just a little bit of that. Let's mix it. Add the egg. Already add 2 of these eggs. I need another one because this is still not moist enough for me. Okay, I mixed that up. Now I'm going to add the rest of my sauteed vegetables to it. Okay, here's my sauteed vegetables. Let me mix that in very lightly. So I feel like the breadcrumbs got lost in the sauce. I don't see them. This is why I do 2 different kinds, but I didn't have it. So let me look at my cabinets. Let me search. Let me figure out what I got, because I'm add a little more breadcrumbs, and I need more breadcrumbs. I need more stuffing. So I found crackers. If you guys are doing 5 pounds worth of hamburger meat, definitely get you enough stuffing to put in there. But I have crackers, so I'm just gonna I put a little more breadcrumbs on there. And I'm going to add some crackers in there, y'all.
You heard me? It's your boy. It's your boy. It's your boy. If you don't know nothing, you know me, Nicole.
Oh, Lord. I put a whole thing of crackers in there. And if you have some oats, you can also put some oats in there, too. So I feel like being extra, I'm going to put a little bit of liquid smoke in there. Just a little bit. A dash. That's good. So I'm almost satisfied with this mixture. I'm going to put some plain panko breadcrumbs in here. It's a little chunkier. Just a little bit. Now we're going to mold it and put it in the oven this time. I'm not putting nothing else in it. It's going to have to be okay. Alright, I have my oven prepped to 350. Now this is a big old glob of meatloaf. Now I'm going to form it into this pan. Okay, now I know for sure I never made a meatloaf this big. I always use 3 pounds or less. So this is a 5 pound. So when I put it in there and start forming it, I realized I could just make a whole pan of this stuff. So that's what I did. You see how much room this is from the, yeah. So it's pretty much a whole pan. So I'm going to put this in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. And as I do that, I'm going to make my sauce that I'm going to put on top, which is a little bit of barbecue sauce, ketchup, A1 sauce, Worcestershire sauce, a dash of liquid smoke, and yada, 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 yada. All right. Here we go. Okay, I almost forgot to put my diced garlic in the dashes, the little holes anywhere, everywhere, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but y'all get it. Cleaning up, and then I was like, oh shit, I done chopped up this garlic and I didn't put it in. So when I make a traditional loaf, I just stick it in there. This is like a big old pan of it. So this is what I'm gonna do, just stick it in random places. So pretty much that's what it's looking like. Alright, so let me put this back in the oven and start my sauce. There's my pot. And I'm just going to put some original barbecue sauce in there. Not a lot. A little bit more. Some Heinz ketchup. A slice of unsalted butter. A little bit of mustard. Some A1 sauce. And some Worcestershire sauce. And a dash of cayenne pepper. Well, that's how much I put in there. Mix it up. Come to a simmer. Put it on low. And wait for my meatloaf ready. See you in a minute. I also put a squeeze of lemon in that, but I'm not going to do that right now. And I always wanted to make a meatloaf stuffed with cheese and wrapped in bacon. So one day I'm going to do that and put this on. But right now, this is how we're doing it. So I'll show you when it's time for me to put my sauce on. Be back. Put my sauce on the meatloaf and I'm going to spread it out and cook it for another 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, this is what my sauce is looking like. Usually I make this amount of sauce for my 3-pound meatloaves. So it's kind of spread, kind of thin. But we're going to make it do what it do, baby. I'm going to be back in 15-20 minutes. Alright, this is how the meatloaf is looking. 10 minutes off the oven, so let me plate it up. I also made some cheesy garlic mashed potatoes, and some sweet peas and Parmesan biscuits. Alright, here's my final plate. Here's the meatloaf, the star of the show. Some sweet peas. I put a little bit of sugar, a dab bit of brown sugar. My cheesy garlic mashed potatoes, and my Parmesan butter biscuits. And this is what my meatloaf looking like. It's a lot of oil at the bottom, y'all. You can use a less percentage of fat. But I made a big one because, trust me, tomorrow slice you some of this on some bread, mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, some sliced cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and it's going to make the perfect sandwich. But this is how the meatloaf looking right now. To see the bell peppers, the onions, the garlic in there, y'all. Until the next time, deuces and stay blessed. It's good right now. This is hitting. On point.